afternoon. This is Craig Cook coming to you at the law offices of Craig Cook here in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the locality rule. The locality rule is unique in several states, one of those being Arkansas. It is not the same as in Oklahoma. Oklahoma usually goes by what's called the national standard of care. Arkansas has a locality rule. And the locality rule has to do with medical malpractice cases. So in order to be able to bring a case in the state of Arkansas, medical malpractice case, you have to have a physician or your expert for the plaintiff testify that they are familiar with same or similar facilities where the malpractice took place in. In other words, familiar with the amount of resources, familiar with the amount of specialists, familiar with most of the services that are provided at the particular facility. And it has to be similar. A lot of times you can meet the locality rule if you have your expert can testify that they have taught some of the students in other states and they went to similar areas, similar services, similar specialties. Another thing that some of the courts look to is you have practiced in similar size towns with similar demographics, similar specialties, etc. So it has to be similar. You cannot utter the word national if you have a case in the state of Arkansas in regards to a medical malpractice. This has to do only, usually, with the breach of the standard of care. In other words, when this rule was promulgated, you had some of the bigger populations had access to better resources. Now, I'm not so sure that's the case. Well, I know it's not the case. You can get on a computer anywhere and look up anything that anybody else can in a different state. In that regard, why does it matter if you've been harmed by a doctor or hospital? For a hospital and a doctor, you have to meet the locality rule. This next one, it says it can lower the bar for accountability in malpractice cases. I don't necessarily think it lowers the bar for accountability in medical malpractice cases. It just sets that particular bar for the particular area. In most cases now, in this day and time in 2025, you are probably going to have the same or similar standard of care for a physician here in Fort Smith, Arkansas, Boonville, Arkansas, etc., because they have the ability to look at the same resources as, for instance, a physician in New York City, Houston, Dallas. So the only thing that would be different is if you can't provide the same services. So for instance, here in Arkansas, maybe some of the localities, smaller local localities, you will not have access to a neurological surgeon versus if you are in, say, Houston or Dallas, you'll probably be able to have a surgeon, a neurological surgeon. So that's just kind of an example. The reason medical malpractice cases here in the state of Arkansas are tough but not impossible is that you must, when you initially get the case, as far as plaintiff's lawyer is concerned, you've got to make sure that you educate the expert in regards to the locality rule and draft pleadings, etc., in regards to the locality rule. So that pretty well covers the locality rule in the state of Arkansas. You must be aware of it. You must draft your pleadings. You must make your expert familiar with that. If you do not, then you can have your case dismissed either by motion for summary judgment or during the course of the trial. Thank you.